War is the father of all things. In the 5th century BCE, Greece stood divided. On one side, Athens, a beacon of democracy, art, and naval power, casting its influence across the Aegean and beyond. A city where philosophy and culture flourished, where the Grand Parthenon overlooked a thriving empire. On the other, Sparta, a warrior society that lived and breathed the ideals of discipline, honor, and military strength. Once, these two city-states had been allies. Together, they had faced the might of the Persian Empire and won, pushing back Xerxes' forces at Salamis, Plataea, and beyond. But that unity was fragile. In the aftermath of the Persian Wars, Athens and Sparta grew into powerful entities with sharply contrasting ideals and ambitions. The Decelean League, initially formed to protect Greece from Persia, had transformed into an Athenian empire, as Athens wielded its powerful navy to assert control over the Aegean and its allies. Athens prospered, drawing wealth from across the Mediterranean, and soon its dominance became a threat to many, especially Sparta. For the Spartans, Athens' ambition represented a dangerous influence over Greece's stability and balance of power. Tensions simmered, conflicts flared, and by 431 BCE, the fragile peace shattered. Sparta and Athens, with their respective allies, stood on the brink of a war that would last 27 years, a war that would be fought not only with swords and spears, but with cunning strategies and ruthless determination. The Peloponnesian War began, plunging the Greek world into chaos, testing every state involved, and ultimately leading to the fall of Athens and the end of its golden age. The Peloponnesian War unfolded in distinct phases, each marked by brutal battles, shifting strategies, and changing fortunes. The conflict is often divided into three main parts: the Archidamian War, the Sicilian Expedition, and the Ionian or Decelean War. Each phase brought its own set of pivotal clashes, moments where the fate of Greece hung in the balance. Let's break down the major phases of this monumental conflict and highlight the most crucial battles that defined each era. Stay tuned for our upcoming video series, where we'll provide an in-depth look at each phase and its most significant battles. The Archidamian War marked the first phase of the Peloponnesian War, led by the Spartan king Archidamus II. It was a time of annual Spartan invasions into Athenian territory, deadly raids, and devastating disease. Siege of Plataea, 429 to 427 BCE. This siege saw Spartan forces encircle the Athenian allied city of Plataea. Despite a brave defense, Plataea eventually fell through a grueling blockade, sending a message of Sparta's determination to strip Athens of its allies. Battle of Pylos and Sphacteria, 425 BCE, a rare Athenian victory on land, where Demosthenes and Cleon's forces captured over 120 Spartan hoplites, breaking the image of Spartan invincibility and shifting the morale in Athens' favor. Battle of Delium, 424 BCE, fought in Boeotia. This was a costly defeat for Athens, which aimed to expand its influence on land. The Athenians suffered heavy losses, marking a setback in their land-based ambitions. Battle of Amphipolis, 422 BCE, the strategic city of Amphipolis, fell to the Spartan general Brasidas, and both Brasidas and Athenian general Cleon were killed. Their deaths paved the way for a temporary truce. Following these fierce clashes, the Peace of Nicias was signed in 421 BCE, halting the war temporarily, but leaving many issues unresolved. The truce would not last, as the underlying tensions between Athens and Sparta continued to build. This phase was one of Athens' most ambitious undertakings. Hoping to expand their influence westward and gain new resources, the Athenians set their sights on Sicily, particularly the wealthy city of Syracuse. Battle of Syracuse, 415 to 413 BCE. The Sicilian Expedition was a catastrophic failure for Athens. Despite their vast fleet and resources, the Athenians underestimated the resistance of Syracuse and its Spartan-backed allies. Led by Nicias and Alcibiades, the Athenian forces were eventually trapped, and their entire navy was destroyed in a decisive defeat. The impact of this loss weakened Athens significantly, both in resources and morale. The disaster in Sicily was a turning point in the war. Athens lost its naval supremacy, thousands of troops, and valuable resources. The defeat reverberated throughout Greece, and many of Athens' allies began to question their loyalty to the once mighty city. The final phase of the Peloponnesian War, also known as the Decelean War, saw the conflict intensify, with Sparta and its allies receiving support from the Persian Empire. This phase was marked by sustained Spartan presence in Athenian territory and a strategic shift to naval warfare. Occupation of Decelean for 13 BCE, under the advice of Alcibiades, who had defected to Sparta, the Spartans established a fortified base at Decelean, just north of Athens. This constant Spartan presence cut off Athenian access to resources and created a steady drain on their economy. Battle of Notium for 106 BCE, a naval engagement where Sparta, with Persian financial support, began challenging Athenian supremacy at sea. The loss at Notium showed the growing vulnerability of the Athenian fleet. Battle of Arginusi for 106 BCE, one of the last major Athenian victories, where they managed to defeat the Spartan navy. However, a subsequent storm prevented them from rescuing stranded sailors, leading to a controversial trial that saw several Athenian generals executed, causing further division and instability within Athens. Battle of Agospotami for 105 BCE, the final and decisive battle of the war. The Spartan general Lysander launched a surprise attack, capturing most of the Athenian fleet. With their naval forces crippled, Athens was left defenseless and unable to secure vital resources. In 404 BCE, a defeated and desperate Athens surrendered. The terms were harsh. Athens' once proud walls were torn down, its fleet destroyed, and its empire dissolved. The Peloponnesian War ended with Sparta as the dominant power in Greece, but the cost of the conflict had drained all Greek states, leaving them vulnerable to future invasions. The Peloponnesian War was more than just a struggle between Athens and Sparta. It was a tragic conflict that showcased the destructive power of rivalry, ambition, and unyielding pride. It marked the end of an era and the beginning of a long decline for Greece, a lesson in the perils of war that echoes through history. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the Peloponnesian War. We hope you gained a fresh perspective on ancient Greece's stakes, strategies, and personalities. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up, share, and comment. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned for upcoming videos exploring each phase of the Peloponnesian War. Subscribe to History Orlog for more captivating historical content, and we'll see you in the next chapter.